Siapas. Welcome back to Behind the Scenes, the show where we take a look at the arts community of Windsor and Essex County. Today we're going to be talking with Mario Carnevale from Theatre Ensemble, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his company and what's going on with them. Hi Mario, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Good. So tell us about Theatre Ensemble. Theatre Ensemble is a relatively new company, just burst onto the scene this year. How did Theatre Ensemble come together?
Well, it's a relatively new company now since February, but prior to that, Theatre Ensemble was in existence for a couple of years, and prior to that, it was known as Theatre Intrigue. In February, John Nabin of Theatre Ensemble contacted myself and Joe Cardinal and said, you know, there have been problems with theatres in Windsor. We've had two major theatres close in the last little bit, and he wanted us to talk about sharing resources and perhaps joining forces to try to create one larger group that we can all help each other.
So when you say we've had theaters close, you mean theater companies or
theater
theaters?
Companies. Theatre Alive shut their doors, and Theatre Windsor closed, and of course Theatre Intrigue had financial problems, and that John Nabin's group took over and renamed it Theatre Ensemble. So yeah, we've seen three theatre groups shut down in the last 2-3 years, and there doesn't seem to be, you know, theatre groups moving up, taking their places. There's a lot of smaller theatre groups, but you know, Theatre Alive did major productions. Theatre Intrigue did major productions, and they're out. Theatre Windsor did 7 shows a year, so that's a big hit on theatre in the area. So, you know, and 1213, I'm from 1213 Productions. You know, we don't own a lot of equipment. Joe Cardinal Music does musicals, you know, so we could see a need for all three. And we, you know, got together, and Joe does musicals. John does a lot of theater. He's very artistic, and he does a lot of plays himself, acts in plays. And I'm more of the managing director type, behind the scenes. I direct shows, but I can tend to do a lot of the administrative stuff fairly well. So it was like a marriage made, let's put it that way, and getting over the personalities. Hopefully everything works out. And we're heading into our first season. We're very excited, and it looks like it's going to be fun.
So now you guys all have very strong personalities, and you all come from having your own theater companies and being used to doing things, not necessarily doing it your own way, but doing it just for yourself.
Yes.
Coming in and sitting down at that table, the three of you together, what was that like to try and find that middle ground? You
know, it's funny because, first of all, we all worked for other theaters. Like I was with Theatre Windsor for a while and cut my teeth there, and then opened up 1213 Productions. Joe Cardinal did a lot of work with Windsor Light, as you're aware, and he did musicals with other theater groups before he opened up Cardinal Music Productions. And John Nabin, of course, with the students at Walkerville, being a drama teacher, and found success there. So we all worked for other groups. Working now for one group, yeah, we had a dinner meeting at Mario's, East End Mario's, and it was one of the most interesting meetings I've ever had. And you would expect fireworks and stuff,
yeah.
But we sat there.
I have to say, I do kind of wish that I was a fly on the wall
well,
in that production.
There were
in that production meeting.
There were a lot of flies there because when we got there, we had to wait for a table. It was packed, and we started our meeting. It was maybe 6:37, and before we even realized what time it was, we didn't even notice people leaving. We were the last ones in the restaurant,
yeah.
And you know, we got the waiters and the waitresses looking at us like, okay, let's go. And yeah, and when we left there, we had a good feeling, and
wow, it sounds kind of romantic.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was after that, though. No, I'm only kidding. No, it's
then things started to get interesting.
We're very excited. We really are.
Good, good. So you've told us what each of you bring to the table. Tell us a little bit about 1213 and how that came together for you, and now the journey moving forward into Theatre Ensemble.
Sure. I was president of Theatre Windsor for 4 years, and it was getting more difficult with the personalities involved. And you know just as well as I do, when you stay too long, you know, resentments occur, and new people come into a group with different expectations. When I got into Theatre Windsor, they had no money, and they were in an older location that really needed some cleaning up and fixing up. And so I got involved heavily with that, with a great group of people there.